How's it going, everybody? Happy Wednesday afternoon. We've got ourselves a little bit of breaking news, and this breaking news has nothing to do with Aldon Smith. Not that that saga is over yet. We still have to keep an eye on what's going on there. There was some interesting information that came out yesterday night, but we're going to move away from the Aldon Smith saga for just 1 second here, and we're going to take a look at a cornerback that the Seahawks decided to bring on this morning. And cornerback is an obvious area of need for the Seahawks, has been for quite some time, ever since Shaq Griffin left us, basically, ever since Dunbar left us. And I've talked about the guys that we could get to replace those two. Sherman was at the top of the list. Bashad Breeland was there as well. Casey Hayward. Didn't really mention this particular individual, but he makes some sense. Pierre Desir, formerly of the New York Jets. He's kind of a career journeyman. He was on the Seahawks in 2016 for a little bit as a practice squatter, and he's going to be a Seahawk for at least a little bit here. Signed a 1-year deal with the Seahawks. Don't know exactly what the details of this deal are yet, but he's going to be here for at least part of the offseason. We'll see if he can make the team, but that I think is probably going to be pretty likely. So Pierre Desir, what can we say about him as a player? Let's try to figure that out. So first thing is, what kind of body type does he have? He's 6'1" and 192 pounds, so he's got the height to play on the outside in Pete Carroll's defense. The weight more or less makes sense. And if you go over to his combine results, you can get his wingspan, which is 77.5 inches, a little more than 77.5 inches. So this guy matches the attributes that you would look for in an outside corner in Pete Carroll's defense. The wingspan is good enough. It's not great, but it's good enough for this. And the height is also good enough for this. So Pierre Desir should be an outside cornerback in Carroll's defense. An outside corner is kind of what I was thinking about in terms of what we need. So is he good? Well, let's try to figure that out here real quick. Just from looking at the stats and looking at PFF, it's kind of a mixed bag. In 2020, he had 3 interceptions for the Jets across 12 games, started 8 of them, 49 tackles. Indianapolis in 2019, he also played in 12 games, had 3 interceptions as well. So he's got some ball skills, it seems like. Seems like he's able to do a pretty good job of taking the ball away, which is something that I want this team to do more of in 2021. Before that, however, just 2 interceptions in his prior 2 years with the Colts. But interceptions don't tell the whole picture. If you scroll down here to his advanced metrics, you'll see that his coverage stats are okay in 2018 and passable in 2019 and then pretty bad in 2020. 2018, he only allowed a 54 completion percentage, which is solid. 3 touchdowns in coverage across 16 games. QB rating of 85.6. That's pretty good for a starting cornerback in the NFL, especially one on a team like the 2018 Colts, which were, a good team, but not an amazing team. 2019, he played 12 games. Completion percentage boosted up to about 65%. Still gave up about 616 yards in coverage, which is not really good when you consider the fact that he clearly played less. He still gave up about the same amount of yards. Also 5 touchdowns in coverage. You can see how the quality of play starts to slip a little bit in terms of overall QB rating, despite the fact that he took the ball away a few times. And then in 2020, we have a QB rating of 116 almost. 524 yards allowed in coverage across just 12 games and just 8 starts. Completion percentage through the roof, 77.4. So his quality of play has been slipping over the last 3 years. What I can say is that your quality of play would probably slip too if you were playing for the New York Jets, one of the worst teams in the league last year. It's hard to do much. I mean, Bradley McDougald was a Jet last year, and he was terrible too, statistically. And I think we all know Bradley McDougald is at least a little better than that. So It probably is just a matter of playing for the Jets. Now, if you look at Pierre Desir's PFF page, that kind of reinforces what I was just saying. When he was on the Jets last year, he had a PFF grade of a 48.1, which is putrid. But again, he was a Jet. The Jets, again, you would suck too if you were on the Jets. They were arguably under orders to suck as much as possible. All right, so if you go back to 2019, which was his last year with the Colts, it gets a little bit better. His PFF grade of 58.8 is passable. It's not great, but it's workable. Kind of in line with what you would expect based off the coverage statistics I just went over. And then if you jump back to 2018, he actually has a great PFF grade. This was the year he only allowed a 54 completion percentage, 77.5. You can go back another year to 2017, and his PFF grade was about 60, workable. So I think this guy's probably pretty good. And I think this guy's probably a solid fit for the Pete Carroll defense. So I'm going to go ahead and give this signing my stamp of approval. I'm going to go ahead and say that this guy's probably going to make the team. And as for who is now in trouble, because if you take a look at our cornerback group right now, we have 6 guys. We have 6 guys who are at least interesting. Witherspoon, Reed, just talking about the outside corners. Witherspoon, Reed, Desir, Neal, Flowers, and Demarius Randall. I kind of feel like Trey Flowers might be on notice because he's somebody who really didn't perform last year. He's somebody in the last year of a rookie deal. We can save over $2 million if we let Trey Flowers go. So if we draft a cornerback, which I expect to do still, even though we signed Pierre Desir, I expect to do it. I expect to bring in a rookie corner. Flowers might be on notice. Maybe Demarius Randall's on notice just because we signed him so cheap and it will be very easy to cut him, and he's not necessarily what we're looking for in an outside corner. I feel like it's going to be one of those 2 guys who is going to have his job on the line. Or maybe somebody moves to safety to avoid the dreaded cut. I don't know exactly what we're thinking here, but I think that's what to look out for in the coming weeks. If we draft a cornerback, my gut tells me somebody has to go, and I have to believe it's going to be one of those 2. I don't think it's going to be Desir. I think he's good enough to at least earn a roster spot. And hey, I like him well enough after taking a look at some of his performance over the last couple years. So I'm going to get out of here. Peace out. Go Hawks. Let me know what you guys think of this signing in the comments. I personally think this probably takes care of our veteran cornerback need. I still want to draft somebody, but I'm kind of moving away from the Shermans and the Brelands and Casey Haywards of the world at the moment. All right. See you guys later today. Another video coming. Peace out. Go Hawks.